Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashai, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashai, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashai, Kolayimla, AHBANAWA, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. The honors to our apostle, elder, the bishop, great millstone, rule well, peace, citation to the hopeful elect. Your brother HAQADASH representing Jamel's branch in Cleveland, Lord willing to bring out a quick and edifying lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. And you can see they canceling free speech, man. You know, it's coming to a head. You know, because that's what the prophecy said. You know. Let me see if this video plays it, because the title of this article: ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely following host comments about Charlie Kirk shooting. Indefinitely means for an unlimited or unspecified period of time, right? For a time frame, right? I don't know if they suspended it permanently or not, but Jimmy Kimmel is a known figure, all right, in society, and they're showing you, just like what Donald Trump shit. When Donald Trump went to you know, all that shit that was going on with Twitter and, you know, all that, they showed you that shit. It don't matter who you are. You could be the president, you could be the former president, you could be this guy, that guy. If they say something against the agenda, we make an example out of them. So how much more, you know, us, little smaller, just the civilians, man. You know, and they're using CK's deletion as a way to target this faster. This is just another way they can actually dictate the pace, if you will. So let me see, try this.
At Granger, we're...
Let me mute the commercial.
Don't want to see the radicals on the right. Oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy.
What is your reaction to that message from President Trump, Governor?
Well, look, I've talked to President Trump. President Trump is angry, and he has every right to be angry. A lot of Americans are very angry right now, and there clearly was a leftist ideology with this assassin, and so I totally understand that anger. I also wish you would have played the clip where he quoted Charlie Kirk about the importance of nonviolence, because he said that too.
Alright, I ain't really relate, but it kind of did, but it didn't. So let me type this in. So I typed in, what is a right versus leftist? It's a great question. Excuse me. It says, let's unpack it clearly. What is a right versus leftist? You're likely asking about the political difference between someone who's a right or right wing, someone who's a leftist, like meaning leftist, a term for someone on the far right or radical left. Right? Since the political spectrum generally runs from left to right. Left, liberal, progressive, socialist, communist. Center, moderate, centrist. Right, conservative, libertarian, nationalist, authoritarian. Says, let's see what else the guy says. A leftist, that's why I just wanted the definition, man. A leftist is someone with strong or extreme left-wing political views, often supporting economic equality, socialism, wealth redistribution, strong welfare state, labor rights, unions, anti-capitalist or anti-corporate views, progressive social policies. Alright, you see what it says there. It says examples: supporting universal health care, advocating for free college education, being anti-capitalist or Marxist, right? And then they got the right wing. A person typically supports free markets, capitalism, limited government interference in economy, traditional values, national identity / patriotism, law and order. So in this case, Trump would be the right, and these other guys would be the left. So CK would be the right, and the guy who whoever decided to take his life would be a leftist. Okay, so now what's going on with this is that now the free speech. What is free speech? Free speech or freedom of speech is the right to express your opinions and ideas without fear of government punishment, such as censorship, jail, or fines. So the first thing they said is censorship, right? Now, let's read this. Basic definition. Free speech is the right to say what you think, even if others disagree, as long as it doesn't break the law. So why is censorship, jail, and other fines being conveyed upon the American citizens if no law was broken? See, it says free speech is the right to say what you think, even if others disagree, as long as it doesn't break the law. So that would mean that now your speech is coming against the law, which in turn means what? We don't have free speech, and the things you disagree on that the government is pushing, they're pushing it in a state, in a sense of it being a law. Okay, and now it's covering all bases: people, places, and things. Hence, the guy CK who was deleted, talking against him. Now censorship comes about. Okay, some people jailed, some people fined, some people were fined. Okay, which now means they're breaking a law, which means Jimmy Kimmel show being what? Suspended is meaning that he's breaking a law. Okay, because he was censored. In the U.S. and many different free speech is a legal right protected by documents like U.S. Constitution, First Amendment. Congress shall make no law abriding the freedom of speech. That's gonna be X'd out here. What cancels freedom? Let's do this. Freedom of speech. What cancels freedom of speech? First, this means you're like me asking what situations or actions make freedom of speech no longer apply. When can freedom of speech be limited or taken away? In most democracies like the U.S., freedom of speech is strong but not unlimited. It can be restricted or canceled in certain situations, especially when speech causes harm to others or breaks the laws. It says, and this is also why they're painting the narrative too, that what Trump just said, he said they're a leftist. What did he say?
Shooting our want to see crime. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy.
What is your
You see? You heard what he said. So they're painting a narrative and feeding it through the media, right? Hence the word medium, right? Their wizardry. It's going to the minds and the ears of the people, and now people are starting to formulate these thoughts pertaining to these individuals that's being spoken about. And the more they pushed on certain topics or people, the more people start to believe it. And then they entice it by having really fake staged events that get real results. And now it's easier to place those individuals in the category that they're being accused of being. Hence, the nation of Israel. You know, and then it becomes reality over time. But it says common legal limits on free speech, inciting violence, true threats, defamation, obscenity, right? Child exploitation, harassment and stalking, hate speech in some countries, national security, speech in special places. So this is all pertaining to common legal limits on free speech. When these things take place, all right, it slowly moves free speech out the way. And this is an example of T-ist attacks, you know, because hold on, they're painting a narrative to be able to lock down America, man. Okay, take away speech. Let's see. So, yeah, man, it's just it's the free speech. It says, what cancels free speech? Protected speech versus speech that loses protection. It's protected speech expressing opinions, speech that lost protection, threats, incitement to violence, political protest, harassment, or stalking, criticizing the gov, leaking classified info, offensive jokes, defamation, targeted hate in some countries. And these are all things throughout social media that's been highlighted in the last however many years. Okay, leaking classified information about chariots and I forgot the site, Area 51, and you know what I'm saying, this government said this and this guy said that. The Epstein files, you know, defamation of all these all these different people, the threats, the incitements to violence. Talking about they come to Chicago. You got the YNs talking about come to Chicago if you want. We're gonna bang bang bang, shoot them up. All this shit. All this is mean what? Speech that loses protection. Because now is leaking harassment or stalking. You see? So all these things will be that it will cancel out protected speech. Because this is what the state of the country is in now. Threats and incitement to violence, harassment, stalking, leaking classified information, defamation, targeted hate, small hats, Iranians. The division is causing targeted hate. So by default, that will mean that this place, freedom of speech, will be canceled out in the First Amendment, all right, or the Constitution will be suspended. Let me see and type that in. What suspends the U.S. Constitution? Nothing fully suspend the U.S. Constitution, but parts of it can be limited temporarily in extreme situations like wartime, national emergencies, or martial law. Right, and what you got with martial law, that's what you see being in place now. Right, Trump setting up borders, patrolmen, and checkpoints throughout the various cities. In every city he's deployed in, he didn't take the troops back. They're still there in new cities. Right? And now he just entered into Memphis. Okay? Wartime, national emergencies, or martial law. See? So, let's go to martial law. Martial law equal military takes over civil functions, usually temporary. No, it's not temporary. Could limit constitutional rights. Free speech. Habeas corpus. You see? Could limit constitutional rights. And it says free speech. So and are not the troops on the ground in these different countries? That means we're in martial law. We're entering these states. Which means the Constitution is being suspended, as they say. Okay? It says martial law can be declared through natural disasters or riots. See? Habeas corpus. What is habeas corpus? Is a Latin phrase that means you shall have the body. In law, it refers to a person's right to challenge their imprisonment or detention in court. It is one of the oldest and most important legal protections of individual freedom. It's the legal right to ask a judge, why am I being held? The government can't show a valid reason the person must be released. And this is why the AI comes in, all these different formats, because where they can fall short at and they can't prove, they have the witchcraft to do it on the spot. In the ancient world, it was the witches and but different whatever. But this time, it's like it's their technology. Oh man, you ain't got no evidence. I was here, there. Oh yeah. They press the button or do something with the AI, and the AI formulate the shit in real time. You know. So it says, can habeas corpus went into this before it be suspended? It says yes, because again, habeas corpus is what? It's dealing with the legal right to ask the judge, like, why are you being detained and so forth. You still have a voice, but it can be suspended due to what? Rebellion and invasion. So it's an invasion. The northern tribes say they're saying it's an kind of an invasion, is rebellion, but also in terms of war. All right, so these things, man, it's going down. All right. Again, purpose is to challenge unlawful imprisonment, which this will be out of the window. You're not gonna be able to challenge unlawful imprisonment. See? All right. Alright, so that's cool. Now let's go back. It says again, ABC suspends Jimmy Kimmel show indefinitely following host comments about CK shooting. Alright. And who knows what he said. I don't know what he said, but this is what we're dealing with, you know. Amos 8:11, behold, the days come, said YAHAWASHI, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Most High, YAHAWASHI. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of YAHAWASHI, and shall not find it. In that day shall their fair virgins and young men faint for thirst, that they that swear by the sin of Samaria and say that thy power of Dan liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. So now, and these are the days that this scripture is talking about, dealing with a famine of it's going to be a scarcity of food as well, but also of information. This is the information age, and people live their lives surrounding wholly off the information age now. The old world has been done away with. Alright, the cars, the mindset of the relationships, the people, jobs, schooling, whatever you could think of is based off the technology that's been invented over however so many years. The old ways are being done away with. All right. All right. From riding a bike to flying kites to playing video games, all these things are done in the technological world. All right, and it says, "Behold, the days come," said the Most High. "I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Most High." All right, YAHAWASHI. And this is what's going on. A censorship on free speech, meaning martial law is being declared, meaning the Congress is being involved. It just said, what did it say? It said, where is it at? I can't find it, but it says something about the Congress. Damn. So yeah, this is what it does. Also, it says forces the government to justify arrest or detention, protects people from being held without charges, secret imprisonment, unlawful detention by police, military, or any authority. But this is going to be suspended, man. It says U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 9. The privilege of the right of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it. See? And they're going to push it on the means of public safety when they're actually causing the public safety to be at a challenge. And then they're going to come in with the order of AHBANAWA, order out of chaos, which now they're going to push it well to protect the people, right? This is what we need to do. We need to all right, detain the people to protect the people. All right, but the people is rebellion and is uprising and riots because they're already being detained mentally and some physically. All right, so they're gonna be able to be, we're gonna be tried without any proof or evidence. That's what happened with YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI was tried without any evidence of the crimes they were committing him of. You see? That means that the Constitution was suspended, so you can understand. And this is going to happen in Rome all over again. The Constitution, it's no such thing as a Constitution, bro. This is just written, all right, to numb the mind of rebellion for a period of time. Now we're approaching the times where it's inevitable rebellion out of their hands, to the point that he can't really do shit. But it's also, and that's why he's scrambling, because it's happening so fast. Because he know he have a short time. He got to come with wrath now, maybe sooner than he wanted to. Okay. But so and these talking points are they're mixing the prophets' talking points with niggas in the world, from Jimmy Kimmel to all these niggas with podcasts. They're mixing our talking points because they watch the prophets and they add our certain points in their messages or in our podcast, and which now is easy to group and put everybody into one category who speak against the government. Okay, because just speaking about the small hats, that's easy to stop doing. But now it's talking about the government, talking about this and this. Because why are they making a big deal with this guy CK anyways? Like, they act like he was DJ Trump, man. And they're using this again to weaponize or to push the armory into the cities of Cleveland, cities of America, man. And in turn, it's going to cause a famine of hearing the words of the Most High, because they start with the low ones first. They're canceling them, taking them out the way, and it's gonna trickle on down to the ones who they get their information from. And when they reach the prophets, which is soon gonna happen, because these talking points, it's getting impossible to talk about certain things in our videos and lessons, because we gotta code everything so much. That's how you know the Lord is getting ready to clip this nigga. And say the elect and clip the 2/3, because we get to the point that so much stuff is being coded. It's like, if you ain't in the know, you ain't gonna know what the heck or what the F is going on when we talking about. So the Lord is putting a finalization on the squeeze in Babylon, putting everybody in their respective lots. So if you're in the know, you know. If you're not in the know, it's too late, because all the information that's being brought out is coming out fast, and it's coming out coded. At first it was plain upon tables, all right, which it still is, but the information that we use to filter in the real time in the scriptures is becoming harder to do. All the code names and the code, like, you know, new coming in, you don't know what the fuck going on. You got to be able to relate. You got to be transferable and transportable, the information. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? Our speech is being taken away. This is let me see, this is the first Maccabees. First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. You see? So he want everybody to become one. So you can't speak against the government. It's time to show that the power that they possess. That's what they're thinking in their minds. You can't just say what you want and do what you want anymore. All right. And the goal is for everyone to leave their laws, their ways, their commandments, and you know, everything you pertain to, and follow him. But we follow YAHAWASHI, man. The time is coming where free speech is going to be canceled, and that's the time we're currently in right now. I'll give you an example of free speech being canceled. This is Matthew chapter 14:1. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of YAHAWASHI, and said unto his servants, This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, It is not lawful for thee to have her. And so John saw this, and he said, because it said, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. And it says, for John said unto him, It is not lawful for thee to have her. So he rebuked him. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet. So he wanted to unalive him, but he knew the people saw him as a prophet. Talking about John. Alright. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, Give me here John the Baptist's head and a charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given hers. Right? So they have oaths and things that they have pledged to. And so it's getting to the point we're gonna be like John, where we're telling the king, we're constantly chanting this place down, which is us pointing a finger, shaking a hand, right? And the gates of the north was us pointing a finger at the one who's going off, and it's the same in this case, the Herodians or Herod and today, and with the Pharaoh of today, and we're saying, look, woo doo woo doo woo. But now we're starting to see what a result for saying that. They want to unalive us. You see, they want to cancel our free speech, and here is an example of free speech being canceled, because they knew that he was a prophet. So prophets do what? They prophesy. They talk about things in the past, present, and the future, right? The things that's going to happen to particular figures and so forth. Okay? But because of his oath, he looked past the title that John held, man. Okay? He looked past that for the sake of the oath. All right? So his free speech, John the Baptist's free speech, was canceled because of the oath that Esau was has taken. And that's what you're starting to see, the oaths that's being taken behind closed doors. All right, it's in turn responding to the liberty that you know guided the people for all these years, man. It says, and being instructed of her mother, verse 8, it said, give me here John the Baptist's head and charger. And the king was sorry, nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him and meat, he commanded it to be given her, and he sent and beheaded John in the prison. And his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. Right? So it says, and his disciples came and took up the body and buried it and went and told YAHWASHI. So, all right, so that's just, I just wanted to show that was a quick example of free speech being canceled. All right, in a sense, so you can understand. All right. Because different laws and things were set even in during these times, right? Because that's what the laws govern the people, and you know, yay, yay, nay, nay of what has to happen, what needs to happen within the society, right? Everyone has a set of rules, okay, to some degree, right? And just to pull this up real quick, it says, I typed in what does law mean. It says law is a system of rules created and enforced by governments to regulate the behavior of people in society. So laws are always established. It's just that they're right or they're good for you, or they produce life or they produce death, you know. But as you can see, this free speech is coming to an end. 2 Ezra 5. And 9, and salt water should be found in the sweet, and all friends should destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, meaning understanding, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber. Talking about the minds of the Israelites, or the elect Israelites that have her. Talking about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's going to keep them stable in these times and be the strength of their salvation. The fear of the Lord is their treasure, right? And shall be sought of many and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency, meaning a lack of control, be multiplied upon the earth. For one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness the make of a man righteous gone through thee? And it shall say no. At that time shall men hope but nothing obtain. They shall labor but their way shall not prosper. You see, so there you have it. Understanding is going to be withdrawn from the World Wide Web. Answers will not be given. Confusion will be the stance of the American citizens. Shame and literal confusion. Okay? No one to break the answers down correctly will be present for a nigga that ain't gonna make it. And Jimmy Kimmel showed indefinitely following host comments about CK, and he's not the only one. And like I said, they're showing you big names being hit because why? It's an omen, or it's a prelude to us smaller names in his eyes being also hit. If he doing it to the Trump administration and president and this, that, and the president, whoop, whoop. Huh? Then how much y'all? Okay. Yeah, they taking this dude out, man. So Lord willing, that was edifying, man. Alright, I like to give all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostle, Elder Bishop, great millstone. Peace out, taste to the hopeful elect. Till next time, walk by the ball, Shalom.